Hello, this is Ben.
And I'm Ann.
We are the founders of UNI Paint. My sister and I are very excited to be collaborating with you online and share the craft that has been in our family for as long as we can remember. If you haven't already done so, please follow us on Instagram and Facebook at UNI Paint, where you will be updated on our collection and upcoming events.
We hope you received our paint kits or have sourced your own supplies. In any case, last minute work has to be done. Please see the short list of recommended items. We typically work on a 16 by 20 canvas, but any size can actually work. We have 3 common brushes. A blending brush or a wash brush. This covers large parts of the canvas and can blend too. This is a flat brush. A number 4 or a number 6. This is great for wide strokes or where you want a lot of paint. And finally, a liner brush. A number 0 or 1. This is great for fine details in your artwork. Acrylic paint. The primary colors: red, blue, yellow, and for shading purposes, we're gonna add black and white. We didn't mention that we need a palette, a cloth, water cup filled 3/4 with warm water. Before you start any painting, I'd like to give you guys some housekeeping tips. First, make sure that your brushes are always clean when changing color. Secondly, you should always have clean water. Change your water often. Third, acrylic paints dry out really fast, so make sure that once you use them, they are completely sealed and airtight. Clean your brushes with warm water at the end of your session if you would like to keep them.
In this tutorial, we're going to paint the scenery. We're first going to paint the background, and then we'll come back and do the little stars, then paint the moon, and finally do the trees. The materials used for this painting will be a large brush, a medium-sized brush, pointer brush, a sponge, anything round to sketch the moon, a cup of water, a palette with blue, black, and white. We're first going to start using our large size brush just to paint the background. We're going to start with our darkest blue at the top and get lighter as we work our way down. To make a darker blue, we need blue and a small amount of black mixed together. To start lightening up the blue, I'm just going to grab some pure blue. This time I'm not mixing it with any black paint because I want it to get lighter as I work my way down. And just start blending that with the darker blue on top. And now I want to start getting lighter, so I'm just going to grab white and I'll mix it with the blue. And the more white you mix, the lighter your blue gets. So I'll first start with this one, which is a lot lighter as you can see, and then a few inches down and I'll get even lighter just by adding more white. For the last couple of inches, I'm going to add even more white just to get a lighter blue. Now that we have our background painted, we're going to give it a few minutes to dry before we move on to the next step. Make sure that you rinse your large brush and just place it on the side because we will no longer be using it. Now that our painting is completely dry, we're ready for the next step. We're going to use the medium-sized brush and we're going to dilute white paint with a small amount of water just so that it's runny. Using our left index finger and grab some paint with the brush, just start dabbing And you want to create those stars all over the canvas. Now that our painting is completely dry, we're going to come back and sketch the moon. So I'm grabbing my plate and placing it in the middle where I want my moon to go. You can use a pencil. I have a pen, so I'm just going to use my pen. Using white paint, I'm going to fill in the entire moon. Now that your moon is completely filled with white paint, I'm just going to grab a small amount of blue and just place it in random areas, and then go over with my sponge just to create some darker shades with blue so that I can have a crater effect for the moon, just to make some parts be just a bit darker like this. So go over it using the sponge, start dabbing or blending, however you want to do this. Once you're done with your moon, just give it a few minutes to dry before we move on to the next step. Now that our moon is completely dry, we're going to come back using the medium-sized brush and repeat this process by diluting some black paint instead now with water, and using our left index finger, just start tapping. We don't want too many. I just got a little bit more paint than I wanted in this area, so the way to fix this is you can either leave it how it is, or when it's dry you can just add some white in that area, just kind of to paint over it, but you cannot do this until the paint is completely dry. So we can do this once it's dried, or you can leave it as is. Another way to hide it is to create a tree in that area, so it's up to you. Once everything is dry again, just by waiting a few minutes, we can go ahead and start working on the trees. For the trees, we're going to use our small pointer brush. We're going to draw some vertical lines. How tall you want those trees to be is up to you. So first, we're going to draw the tree trunks. Now that all my tree trunks are painted, I'm going to start painting the trees, and I'm going to start from the top. The goal is to start very small and thin at the top, and then get wider and longer as we work our way down in this direction. So the top part usually is the shortest and the smallest, and then your branches will only get bigger and thicker as you work your way down. I'm using the pointer brush and black paint. I just applied some white paint in that area just to fix that black streak that I had earlier. Alright, I think that looks good. Alright, I think we are done. Perfect. And now this concludes our painting.